In every era, in every society, in every walk of life, there have always been the few who rise above the rest, the ones who break barriers, shape destinies, and leave footprints of greatness behind. It is said that only 2% of people ever truly succeed, not just in material terms, but in living a life of purpose, peace, and divine alignment. The remaining 98% live in shadows, not because they lack potential, but because they never learn the deeper truths of success. But what truly separates these rare souls from the masses? Is it luck? Is it wealth? Is it intelligence? Or is it something far deeper, something hidden in the inner fabric of their being? Paramahansa Yogananda, the divine master, who brought ancient yogic wisdom to the modern world, gave the world not only a glimpse into the eternal truth, but also the timeless keys to real success. Success, he taught, is not about outer glitter. It is about inner mastery. The one who conquers himself, who aligns his will with the divine will, who walks with God through every storm. That is the soul who enters the 2%. Today, let us walk through the mystical teachings of Yogananda to understand why most people remain trapped in limitation and how the few break free. From the very beginning of life, the soul is surrounded by noise. The noise of opinions, of conditioning, of fears passed on from generations, of limitations imposed by family, society, and false education. Yogananda said, "You must learn to stand unshaken amidst the crash of breaking worlds." But most never stand. They bend, they conform, they wait, and in that waiting, life passes. Success is not a gift, it is a responsibility. It is a responsibility. And the few who accept the sacred responsibility, who listen to the whisper of the soul, rise beyond mediocrity. The first reason why 98% do not succeed is lack of spiritual discipline. Yogananda was crystal clear. A scattered mind cannot concentrate. And without concentration, you cannot create, you cannot manifest. The average person's mind jumps from one thought to another like a monkey swinging from tree to tree. No direction, no purpose. But the successful, they meditate. They silence the noise. They master their breath. They connect with the stillness within, where all answers lie. Meditation, Yogananda said, is the greatest science. It opens the door to divine intuition. And those who possess divine intuition make right choices effortlessly. They flow with the river of cosmic wisdom. Secondly, the majority fail because they are driven by fear instead of faith. Fear is the great destroyer of destiny. Yogananda often spoke of how fear is a magnet. It attracts exactly what you don't want. People fear failure, fear opinions, fear rejection, fear the unknown. But the 2%, they fear nothing because they trust the infinite. They surrender to God. Yogananda's own life was filled with obstacles, but his faith never wavered. He said, "Live quietly in the moment and see the beauty of all before you. The future will take care of itself. Those who live by this truth walk with power." Faith gives wings, fear builds cages. Another reason for widespread failure is lack of self-belief. The world can only believe in you to the extent that you believe in yourself. Yogananda taught that each soul is a spark of God. And how can a spark of God be weak, lost, or incapable? But people are hypnotized into believing they are limited. The successful ones, they break the hypnosis. They realize, "And my Father are one." They rise each day with the awareness that within them lies the creative force that made galaxies. With this awareness, even mountains bow. The next truth is often hidden, but crucial. Desire without devotion leads to destruction. Everyone wants, but few are willing to give. People want success but not sacrifice. They want glory but not discipline. They want discipline, heaven, but hold on to hell. Yogananda was clear. Success flows through self-control. Control your thoughts, your habits, your speech, your energy. The successful are not slaves to their senses. They are masters of their energy. They turn desire into devotion, and in that transformation, God Himself works through them. One of the most potent reasons the masses fail is because they seek outer approval more than inner truth. The 98% are obsessed with what others think, but the 2% live in harmony with what their soul knows. Yogananda's own journey was filled with criticism. Many opposed him, mocked his spiritual path, doubted his mission. But he said, "Be as simple as you can be. You will be astonished to see how uncomplicated and happy your life can become." Simplicity, authenticity, truth. These are the weapons of the successful. They walk alone if they must, but they walk true. Time management is another divine law ignored by the many and revered by the few. The masses waste hours in gossip, distractions, scrolling, overthinking, but the 2% know that time is life. Every second misused is a door to failure. Yogananda emphasized this constantly. Those who waste time, waste life. Discipline your time and you discipline your destiny. The truly successful rise early. The truly successful rise early. Meditate, plan, act, review. They do not live randomly. Their day is a sacred ritual, every hour an offering to the divine. Then comes the greatest test, persistence. Most people give up too soon. The path gets tough. They quit. The door doesn't open. They walk away. But Yogananda said, a saint is a sinner who never gave up. The 2% become successful not because they never failed, but because they never accepted failure as final. They rise after every fall. They learn, they grow, they adapt, and slowly, life opens to them in miraculous ways. The universe respects the one who refuses to give up. The next truth is uncomfortable, yet crucial. Most people avoid pain, but pain is the purifier. The 98% numb their pain with pleasure, with distraction, with denial. But the 2% embrace pain as a teacher. Yogananda said, comfort is not the goal, growth is. Every successful person has walked through fire. They let pain refine them, not define them. They let pain refine them. Use it as fuel, not as an excuse. And in that burning, their ego dies and their spirit rises. Also, many remain unsuccessful because they live in the past or future, never in the present. The past traps them in regret. The future traps them in anxiety, but success is born in the now. Meditation, mindfulness, awareness, these open the door to inspired action. Yogananda often said that true success is balanced living, working hard without attachment, giving without expecting, living fully in each moment. The 2% understand this. They do not dwell. They do. They do with joy, with detachment, with reverence. Another powerful reason. The 98% blame, the 2% take responsibility. Most people look outside, blaming the economy, their parents, their fate, their boss. But the truly successful look within. They say, if it is to be, it is up to me. Yogananda taught self-responsibility, that every experience is a mirror, every situation a teacher. The outer world is only a reflection of the inner world. Change your thoughts, change your reality. The 2% live by this. They don't wait for change. They become the change, and then comes the supreme law, alignment with divine will. Yogananda taught that no success is real if it disconnects you from God. The world may applaud, but the soul will suffer. The 98% chase goals rooted in ego, but the 2% surrender their will to the divine. They ask, what would you have me do, Lord? And when they align with the higher purpose, everything flows. Success becomes effortless. Doors open. Grace descends. They do less but achieve more, because they are not alone. Yogananda's own life is proof. He left everything in India, crossed oceans, stood alone in a foreign land, with nothing but divine faith. And he built a movement that transformed millions, not by chasing fame, but by walking with God, his secret, daily deep communion with the divine. He meditated for hours, spoke with God as a friend, listened to divine guidance. That's why his words still echo across time. That's why his presence still lifts hearts. Real success is not what you take. It is what you become. The final truth is this: success is not an achievement, it is a vibration. It is a vibration. The 2% carry a different energy. Peaceful, focused, radiant, magnetic. People feel it. Opportunities find them. Why? Because they live from the soul. And the soul, when awakened, becomes a magnet for divine abundance. Yogananda often said, "Seek first the kingdom of God, and all else shall be added." This is not poetry, this is law. The kingdom of God is within. When you find it, everything outside aligns. So what must we do to rise into the 2%? Start today. Sit in silence. Meditate daily. Take full responsibility. Let go of excuses. Align every action with your soul. Serve others selflessly. Master your breath. Use time wisely. Walk with God, not with fear. Don't seek approval. Seek truth, don't chase results. Focus on the process, don't complain. Create, don't wait. Begin. Each moment is a seed, plant it with love, water it with discipline, and harvest it with joy. Remember, the difference is not in destiny, it is in decision. At every step, life gives you a choice, to rise or to retreat, and every choice shapes your future. The 2% are not chosen, they choose. They choose to live consciously. They choose to suffer temporarily for eternal joy. They choose to obey the whispers of the soul over the screams of the world. As Yogananda once said, the season of failure is the best time for sowing the seeds of success. So don't fear your current state, don't worry about where you are. Just awaken, awaken to who you truly are. A divine being born not to crawl, but to soar. Your success is not a question of fate, it is a matter of focus, faith, and fierce surrender to the infinite. Rise into your power, become one of the few. Walk the path Yogananda walked, and the universe itself will rise to meet you. This is the secret, this is the truth, this is the way of the 2%.